Um, but ever since the news came out, I listened again to um some some MF Doom.
Oh yeah,
Some
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
yeah, rest in
Also R.I.P.
peace.
King Von too. We've been talking about him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
yeah. Um, did you guys ever or what? Did you guys listen to any of his albums at all?
MF Doom.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, not
listened
really.
to songs here and there. I came across them like off YouTube, suggested a
Mhm.
few years back, but I never really got into them. But usually, I really start to look into an artist that I've never really listened to once they die. Um, like as fucked up as that sounds, but like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
you
true
know,
though.
yeah, it is true. It makes their life more of a complete story and a complete saga. Sorry, I just cracked my knuckles. But yeah, when you look at it in hindsight, you realize that the story has already been set in stone after they've died, and you can kind of appreciate its totality in a way that you can't really have that perspective when they're still alive sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good.
like I was thinking about this the other day with Trippie Red. I hold him to like a similar standard as like Juice World, X, Lil Peep, and all them, and like I kind of put them all in the same basket in terms of music that I listen to and like how it impacts my life. And I feel like the way that Trippie's viewed right now in the world, like he's a superstar, yes, but I think that if he were to die, he'd see like that same legendary and this is fucked up energy like out there, but like personally I don't believe in energy or any of that. So I this is just how it is to me. Like I just think that artists are more they're made legends once they die. And it's hard to become a legend while you're still living. What do you think about
Yeah, I
that?
could. No, I remember kind of like what you said back in high school. Um, like I got a few songs recommended to me like by the YouTube algorithms. Just like looking at his flow, looking at his rhyme schemes and stuff. So I kind of got into him in high school, and then like um during college and stuff, I really listened to a lot of his stuff, even his stuff that he did that's more just like kind of sounds, I guess, kind of just like backing tracks. And like Food was like one of my favorite albums for a long time there. And
Mhm.
like listening to him now, I can see that kind of tone shift, I guess. Like mentally especially that like, you know, before he was the mad villain and all this stuff, but now, I don't know what I'm processing yet, but like um the music is it changed in my head now, you know? It I can see
Mhm.
what you're saying that like the listening to music, post, an artist's death, or an artist's death, it kind of changes um the story, like what you're saying, and the I don't know, the tone, I guess, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
Recontextualizes, I guess.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Mez?
I mean, like, I never really listened to MF Doom, so I can't relate that much. I just know that even when I didn't know him, I knew his name, and like I know how highly regarded he is as an MC. So it is definitely a loss. And
Yeah.
like I never really listened to him except for that one time you showed me, and like he really does spit. So he was very talented. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
really
he
know.
was he was big in like samples and like creating that backstory, and I
Mhm.
love that so much. But like um kind of changing the topic too. It's kind of interesting that like cuz Pop Smoke has died like almost a year ago now soon or within a few months. And like I only discovered him after after and like I've only known him as, this legend, this I mean, he had a bunch of potential, but like now he's kind of, I mean, last year he ran the charts for such a long time. And like it's interesting to
Right.
note that like artists alive versus artists death or dead, and like when you discover them really changes how you perceive them. And
Yeah, no, like I had only briefly heard a couple of Pop Smoke songs
yeah,
before he died.
yeah.
I think the world in general, most of the world who listens to Pop Smoke now, I would argue that most of them know him from his like posthumous releases, or at least
Yeah.
have gone back to his early buzzing hits once they heard about his death.
Oh, I mean, for
Yeah, no, I
me,
agree. I think
yeah,
um that album, that he released last year and then like the deluxe version, like I mean that was played everywhere. I mean, I don't know about TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but like it seemed like every single time I looked at the charts it was up at the top. And it's really interesting to note that kind of difference in I guess uh like interactions too, I guess, with music that but
I think it's a lot of it's our fascination with death as a society, or at least, well, we definitely have a fixation on death within hip hop music.
mhm.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, for Pop Smoke, I feel like he's before he died, he was a really well-known New York artist,
yeah,
and
Mhm.
then once he died, everyone was just like, "Oh shit, he was so talented. Let me go check him out." Like for me, I never
Yeah.
listened to a Pop Smoke song before, but I have so many ties with like people in New York, and they're always like, "Oh, Pop Smoke is so dope." I'm just like, I don't even know. Like I literally got him confused with Smoke Perp just because like
yeah,
until I realized, and then once I listened to him, I was like, "Oh shit, he's actually really dope." But like that was after he died, and I'm just like, it happens, but
yeah.
it happens too often.
It does happen way too often, and it's a weird feeling because a lot of the times it feels like they're still here, because we
Yeah,
don't know these artists in real life, like our
Yeah.
favorite artists. Like even if we have gone to a show or whatever, we don't know almost 100% of their life that goes on outside of their music. And that's kind of a difficult thing to come to terms with as an artist, trying to understand your relationship um, with that artist. No, sorry. That's one of the most difficult things to come to terms with as a fan, trying to understand your relationship and your connection to a person whose music that you listen to. You want to feel like you know them, and the way that their music makes you feel is so intense that you almost want to claim them as like family or friends and things like that, when in reality, when we really admit it to ourselves, we don't know that artist at all, and it's kind of tragic in a way, um, losing that artist, because it feels like you'll never get that chance. As small as it is, you'll never get that chance to truly know what that artist went through when they're alive, and I think that's a lot of the mourning that us fans have when an artist passed, because we don't really know them personally, but it's almost that mourning of, you know, the little bits and pieces that they did give us of our life. We almost feel like that would have went somewhere and we would be able to understand them more fully.